So, you want a cool car, but you weren't born with a McLaren in your driveway. Today we're counting down the top 7 best CHEAP cars for enthusiasts. Cheap as in cost más o menos $5K. My name's Brad, slap the like button, subscribe, buckle up, and let's go! Ah, the Mazda Miata, the adorable puppy of the car world. Everyone loves it. We even made this ideal tee about it, which you can snag up here for a limited time. And everyone loves it for good reason. Now, Miatas have always been on the affordable side, but to get one for under $5, you need to be looking at a first gen or NA. This lovable little roadster has a 1.6 liter engine pushing out a mind-boggling 116 horsepower, which I know, calm down. But here's the kicker. The Miata weighs as much as a sneeze, making it feel faster than it really is. It's the perfect car to experience the joy of rear-wheel drive, flat-out driving without waking up in a tree. But what does YouTube's favorite mechanic, Trav, have to say about my first pick?
Well, it's important to note that NA Miatas, well, they're old. And unfortunately, they kinda sorta have a little rust problem. But it didn't affect all of them. As long as it was a car that primarily spent its life parked indoors, where ideally a roadster should be, and wasn't used for, well, this a whole lot, chances are it's totally fine.
Pick up a decent NA like this one for just $5,900 and go discover the real reason why, say it with me, Miata is always the answer. Next up, the Honda Civic. It's the Starbucks Frappuccino of cars. Basic, but oh so satisfying. It's a front-wheel drive legend, offering respectable horsepower, one of the best feeling manual transmissions in the world, and a ton of aftermarket support. It's like a Lego set for car guys. You can mod it 6 ways from Sunday. While the SI, or better yet, the Type R, would be absolutely ideal, you're gonna have a hard time finding one of those for under our $5K budget. And while a basic Civic won't exactly set your hair on fire from the factory, it's probably the most perfect car to transform into, well, anything you want it to.
Intakes, exhausts, suspension mods, body kits, turbochargers, engine swaps. There's literally nothing you can't do with a Civic. Honestly, buy the nicest one you can afford, since you won't need to save a whole lot for mods, since they're cheap.
Check out this manual Civic we found here for less than $4,500, and it's already got a B16A2 with VTEC, baby, ready to go under the hood. I mean, this thing looks exactly like the black Civics from F&F. Oh, except you'd have to add underglow. And as always, we've linked to all these ideal picks in the pinned first comment below, so go check them out. Oh, baby. How about the best-selling sports car of literally all time? The Ford Mustang. It's the car that says to the world you understand what being a car guy is all about. Is it the most economical? No. Is it the most comfortable car? Absolutely not. Does it rip sick burnouts and sound like hellfire? Hell yes it does! Ford's prancing pony has been trotting the planet since the 60s, and from day one, lighting fires in car lovers' hearts around the globe. And if you've never driven one, well, you need to.
Look, this generation of the Mustang is actually pretty solid, so get the best one you can and maybe try and find one that hasn't had more than 3 or 4 owners. This car typically gets driven hard and put away wet, so just find one that's been at least mostly looked after.
To get your own piece of Americana for $5,000 or less, we're gonna be looking at the 4th gen. And while a V6 is totally okay, deep down you know you want a V8. And yeah, maybe one sort of like this. If the Honda Civic is a Frappuccino, then the Golf GTI is the iced oat milk latte with a double shot of espresso. European, refined, but still packs a punch. This is the car for people who say, I want to go fast, but I also want to pretend I'm sophisticated. Which you might not be, but your car certainly can be. In GLX trim, you not only get the amazing VR6, but you get things like rain sensing wipers and automatic climate control and auto dimming mirrors. Plus, it's a hatchback. You can fit a surprising amount of adult responsibilities in the trunk. You simply can't go wrong with a GTI. Because while the world agrees the Miata is always the answer,
I'd argue it's actually a GTI. It does more things better more of the time than most other cars ever made. While the 1.8T has tuning potential and turbo fun, the VR6 gives you smooth, refined torque, and one of the best soundtracks a car can make at any price. It's a quirky V6 in a hatchback. What's not to love? Yes, sometimes VW gets a bad rep for reliability, but most of them are actually pretty solid cars. Do your research up front and know what you're getting into, and you'll be fine.
And for $5,000, we're looking at 4th generation GTIs or Mark IVs. Get a pretty dialed 1.8T or legendary VR6. Take your pick of either for under $5,000. You hear that? You hear that? That's the sound of a Subaru WRX begging you to go fling it around a rally course, or at least making you feel like you could, even if you're just navigating the treacherous terrain of suburbia. This is the budget car for rally enthusiasts, people who say Subaru and STI in the same breath, but can't quite afford the full fat STI just yet.
I know. We've gone over the EJ series engines 100 times on this channel, and it's not all sunshine and roses. Thing is though, if you get a good one and maintain it religiously, and you don't expect to go out and make over 300 horsepower without some kind of major mods, chances are you'll have a great little car.
Take a look at this beauty we found for just $4,000. Deals are still out there, people. If the E36 is a classic vinyl record, the E46 is the remastered CD. Cleaner, sharper, and with a couple of extra tracks you didn't know that you needed. It's got that classic BMW styling, but a little more, shall we say, grown up? If the E36 is your high school rock band, the E46 is your first job in the city, with better hair and less acne.
You can't go wrong with either of those generations of 3 Series. But let's face it, the E46 is an old car now with some old car problems. So an E36, well, it's firmly in classic car territory these days. Truth is, a decent example of either car will cost about the same, and in my opinion, you just get a lot more car with an E46. Both will need full cooling system rebuilds and oil stand gaskets, and thrust arm bushings and valve cover gaskets, but honestly, it's all super easy work on these cars, and in my opinion, an older 3 Series is the ideal choice to teach yourself how to spin a wrench.
Pick up this tasty low miles manual 328i for $5,900, and if you can stretch your budget just a little bit further, you can get one of my all-time favorites, a 330i ZHP. But guys, trust me, if you work for it, you'll be able to bring that 328 home for $5,000. Speaking of which, go check out our free workshop for the Ideal Car Strategies, where we show you how to negotiate like a pro and teach you everything you ever wanted to know about buying a car. Link in the description below, and that free new workshop isn't around forever. And now it's time for the honorable mention, baby. Today we have the Toyota Celica, the 90s icon that says, I kinda want a Supra, but my bank account has other plans. Front wheel drive, peppy, and with a 90s charm that makes you wanna blast some Pearl Jam as you cruise. Plus, it's a Toyota, so you can pretty much just drive it into the apocalypse and still get another 10,000 miles out of it. So, how come it's an honorable mention? Well, truth is, these were awesome cars, and the majority of them have been completely used up. They're hard to find, and usually when you do come across one, well, it's in need of some serious love. But that being said, if you can find a decent one and aren't afraid of a little DIY challenge, a 96th or even 5th gen Celica might just be one of the best cars you'll ever own. Okay, have you ever been to a fancy restaurant and found that surprisingly affordable dish that still blows your taste buds away? Meet the Acura TL. This is for the car guy who wants a dash of luxury with their performance that doesn't want to empty their bank account. These cars are total sleepers. From the outside, it might just look like a mid-level corporate manager. Step on the gas and you'll realize it's actually the car of a mid-level corporate manager who knows how to let loose on the weekends.
My one word of caution here would be to find one with a manual.
I don't drive manual. I drive a manual.
This generation of Honda automatics, well, wasn't the best, so get a manual. Get one that's been maintained well, and I promise you'll love the TL.
Check out this super clean 6-speed manual TL for $6, which again, guys, I promise you could negotiate down. So, which is my ideal pick? Kind of feeling that Mustang.
And I would probably go for the BMW.
But we want to know, what's your pick? Let us know in the comments below. And what did you think of today's list? Was there anything that we missed? Well, let us know below as well. And if you liked the video, slap the like button. And if you're new, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. And check out this new series, Why You Need Up Here, or whatever YouTube recommends you watch next down here. I'm Brad, this is Ideal, and promise me one thing, keep living the ideal lifestyle.